Welcome to another week of lessons with Miss Mari's music. This week, we're going to keep working on that funky new note we learned last week, third space C. But what makes this week's lesson different is we're going to add in skipping motion in addition to our stepwise motion that we worked on last week. So get ready, we're going to be doing a lot today, but I guarantee it's all going to be really fun. Just like every week, we're going to be doing another warm-up. But I have to check in with you. How are you doing keeping your left hand on top? If you started going to your right hand just because I haven't been talking about it in lessons, you really need to change that. We're going to be adding in our right hand in just a few weeks down here, and you're not going to be able to do the stuff that we're doing with your right hand if your right hand's on top up here. You just won't. The fingerings, none of it will make sense. It'll be really hard. If it helps to have you put something like a rubber band on your left hand or a sticker on your left hand, anything to help you remember, do it, because we really need to be sure that we're keeping up that habit. Another habit we really need to be sure we're on top of is tonguing everything. We're going to be doing some stuff later where we don't tongue, but for now, our tongue isn't actually touching the recorder. It's not touching the recorder, okay? It's just interrupting the flow of air right at that area of your mouth where your gums meet up with your front teeth. Let's start on some exercises. Repeat after me. Now this is a new note. This is the note that we learned last week, C, which is 0 and 2. Now if you noticed, I kind of flew through those B's, A's, and G's because we've been working on B, A, and G for a long time. B, A, G, bag, we should have that down by now. That should be in our bag of tricks. Get it? So anyways, I kind of flew through that because we got to keep working, okay? Last week's lesson, I went over all the fingerings for G, A, and B. And so if you need to go back and do that, please do. But we're moving on. So anyway, C, 0, 2. Repeat after me. Okay, now remember, when we switch from C to B, our thumb stays on, or maybe if I do it from the side like that, maybe that'll help. Our thumb stays on the entire time. Okay? You really need to keep that right hand with you to help stabilize the recorder, because if you don't, then the recorder's going to be flying everywhere and it might be kind of tricky. Okay? Now I'm adding in C, B, A, and G. We're playing all of those together. Now a little hint, this time we're going to start on G. Remember, G is 0, 1, 2, 3. So listen to me. Awesome, great warm up. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, today we're not learning any new notes, but we're going to practice using our note that we learned last week, C, and do skipping motion So that means instead of just going from C to B or B to C, we're going to go C to A and C to G, as well as G to C. Okay, so the first pattern we're going to start with is C to A. Now when we go C to A, remember C is 0, 2. Tell me, what is the fingering for A? Hopefully you figured out the fingering is 0, 1, 2. So when we go from C to A, the only finger that moves is the 1. The 0 and the 2 stay right where they are. So repeat after me. All right, if you need extra practice, like I always say, go back, rewind, do it again. We're going to move on to G. What is the fingering for G? Hopefully you figured out the fingering for G is 0, 1, 2, 3. And remember, the fingering for C is 0, 2. So G's a little bit trickier, but no worries, we totally got this. So C to G, guess what? 0 and 2 all stay down, covering the holes. But what moves? 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Now, it gets a little bit tricky because our ring finger, or 3, it's not like we really use this finger too much in our everyday lives, right? It's not something that we're used to having to really work on to control. So this may take some more practice. Don't get down on yourself. This is just part of learning, okay? So listen to me. Listen to me. I did that because that's the start of I've been working on the railroad. Hopefully you caught that. I just thought that'd be fun. Okay, now we're going to practice C to G, C to A, skipping motion on the music staff. Alrighty, so the song that we're learning today to work on the skipping motion from that third line C to A and to G is called Falling Leaves. Right now, at the time that I'm taping this, it is fall and the weather's changing, but I admit where I live, I'm doing this in Texas, there aren't really any leaves falling and they're all still completely green, but I imagine that if Texas did have a real fall, there would be falling leaves and it'd be really pretty. Okay, so let's take a look just at this first line. First, let's point to all the eighth notes that we find. Remember, eighth notes are worth half a beat, so point with me to the eighth notes. And just in the first line right now. Now I want you to point to the quarter notes, which are worth how many beats? 1 full beat. Let's point to the quarter notes. And now let's see if you can find that half note that's worth 2 beats. Awesome. Okay, so guess what? First line, we're going to start with kind of easy because it just switches between C's and A's. So with your recorder down, can you please point to the notes with me while I point, and we're going to say the note names together. 1, 2, ready, go. C, C, A, C, C, A, C, C, A, C. Again, 2, point and say. C, C, A, C, C, A, C, C, A, C. Awesome. We are going to say the note names and finger, okay? Remember, what is the one finger that moves when you go between C and A? It's your one finger or your index finger, your left index finger. Here we go. Saying the note names and fingering. 1, two, ready, and go. C, C, A, C, C, A, C, C, A, A, C. Again, two, ready, and go. C, C, A, C, C, A, C, C, A, A, C. Okay, now we're going to play. Woohoo! Here we go. I will point and play with you. Get ready to play, blowing in the recorder. Always tonguing. One, left hand on top. 1, 2, ready, and go. Let's try that again. 1, 2, ready, and go. Okay, now this next time I'm going to play it with a mistake, and I want you to tell me what I did wrong, okay? Now, if you listened, you may have heard that when I went from my A's to my C's, we heard this sound. And that's because I wasn't lifting up my one finger or my index finger quick enough. I was letting it stay there while I moved on to the note C. That's what made that sound. You really have to make sure your fingers are getting off that hole in time for the next note. Again, 2, ready, and play. Okay, awesome. Now we are on the second line. See any notes here besides C's and A's? Because I do. We should notice that we have G's in here now, so let's find all the G's. And notice, I purposely wrote this song to where all the G's come either right after a C or right before another C. That way we can really train our fingers to practice that motion, and in between lessons you can practice that too. Okay, so just like we always do, put your recorder down and let's say the note names out loud and point to the notes as we say them. 1, 2, ready, and go. C, A, C, G, C, G, C. Again, 2, ready, and go. C, A, C, G, C, G, C. So now let's get our recorders and we will finger and say the notes. Who remembers what two fingers move when you go between C and G? C and G. It's your 1 and your 3. I'm going to get in the shot real quick so you can see. Your 1 and your 3, okay? Fingering and saying the notes. 1, 2, ready, and go. C, A, C, G, C, G, C. Again, 2, finger and go. C, A, C, G, C, G, C. Okay, let's go ahead and play it. And if you need to rewind and practice fingering some more, that's okay. Here we go. And 1, 2, ready, and go. Again, 2, ready, and go. Again, 2, ready, and go. Awesome. Okay, before we play through this whole piece, we are going to finger the whole piece starting at the beginning all the way to the end and say the note names. This will really help train our fingers on how to move properly so we're prepared to read 4 measures all at once, read and perform at the same time. So here we go. Finger and say the notes. 1, 2, ready, and go. C, C, A, C, C, A, C, C, A, C, C, A, C, G, C, G, C. Alrighty. Time to play it. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and go. Again, 2, ready, and go. Again, 2, ready, and go. Awesome, great job. Now I thought it'd be fun if we did this with some percussion accompaniment. Woohoo! Okay, so trying it with accompaniment. Here we go. And 1, 2, ready, and go. Again, 2, ready, and go. Great job today. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Just a heads up, for next week, we're going to be working a little bit on something called composition, which means writing your own music. And so between now and next week, I want you to go to your local music store or just do a Google search online for staff paper, okay? Staff paper. That's the paper that has the 5 lines on it that we use to read all of our music from, okay? So your homework is to find staff paper and also to keep working on the songs that we've been doing, especially today, Falling Leaves. And remember, you can go back and practice any of the songs that we worked on in any of the other lessons because they're on YouTube. They're right there whenever you want it. Don't forget to post your questions or comments in the comments section, and also be sure to check out my Teachers Pay Teachers store where you're able to download all the visuals that we used today. See you next week!